Oh man, what? Oh, this is crazy simple. I wish I knew how to make these beats when I started out. What the hell? I know, being a new producer can be extremely hard. You're having to learn the software you've just purchased, understanding all the features, and even finding sounds to use. But time and guidance will make it so much easier for you. If you clicked on this video, then I guess you're struggling with one of these things I mentioned. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you the little quick things to help you progress quicker as a producer. And also throughout the video, I'm going to be showing you with tips that I wish I knew when I started producing. And honestly, they could help you completely. I forgot to also say, my Discord is finally open, so join me and all of the other members in making beats and getting involved in videos. Link in description. So obviously starting out as a producer, I never really used VSTs. I didn't have the money to buy these incredible VSTs. So I mainly use loops off like Loopin', like I showed you in the previous video, or investing in Splice. I mean, Splice is like $11 a month and some of the loops on there are brilliant. I made a whole song last night with it. So today I'm just going to be using the loops that are in my multi-kit. Let's use this one. This is a guitar loop that I made, I think, when I first got my acoustic one, if you can see it. So what I'm going to do to start with is I'm going to use this trim circle in the sample menu. And that's by just double clicking the sample. And this basically trims the silence at the start. MP3s do have a little bit of silence at the start, which, yeah, you don't want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up the BPM to what is labeled on the loop, which is 179. And I'm just going to cut the stems up by pressing C to bring out the cut tool, pressing P to bring back the pencil tool. So each layer is now lined up and I can use them at my own timing. So yeah, cool. Let's bring over across a pattern. And the pattern is where the drums are being processed in, if that makes sense. Tip number one, your beats don't have to sound the best straight away. There will be a progression. Over a couple months, you'll see that you're making better and more and better beats. It's an onward slope. So today I'm going to be using just my multi-kit. It's completely free. So for you beginners, link in the description. Go and download that now and get your hands on all of these sounds. So normally I start off with a clap just to get the initial bounce. Here's the crisp one. The clap bounce is normally like this. And like that, you've already got the initial bounce to the beat. So if you open up a hi-hat, let's use the go-to one. There's a little tip and trick that I wish I knew because I was always penciling in the little hi-hats. If you right-click on the sound and go to two-step, it brings out two-step hi-hats, which is very common in trap music. And one crucial thing that I've completely forgot is if you open up the mixer and go to the master, there's nothing on your master right now. And the thing you need on the master is a Fruity soft clipper, because if you use a limiter, your beat's not going to be its full potential in my eyes. A soft clipper is like what every industry producer uses for FL Studio. And what you also can do is just place some hi-hats in these gaps, so like... That's called like a hi-hat roll. Oh, I don't like that one. Delete that. Simple bounce, but it's going to carry the beat. Step number 2 is finding your style and sound. And this can be done very easily. The music you listen to could really influence the beats you make. So honestly, studying the music you listen to, working out what sounds they're doing, really help find your style and sound. Let's get a snare in. Go-to snare. I mean, I love this snare. I use it in most beats now, to be fair. What I'm going to do to give it a little bit of a different vibe is I'm going to pitch down the melody. So that's just opening it and it's just bringing it down a different scale. Gone down 3. This is nice. Right, let's get like the main sound of the beat, and that's the 808. So we'll use the go-to spins. So one thing that I struggled to do when I started producing was basically what I would do is solo the bass, solo the drums, so the bass and the 808 are soloed, go to the 808, basically start on the C note. C5 is low, so I'd start at C6, and basically you go up until it's the right note. There you go. The B note sounds perfect, so we're going to bring that down. We notice it changes here, so it's going up. Right, so the C note. E note. D note. Back down to the C. Yeah. So now we've got the 808 notes, we can add a bounce to 808. So let's unsolo all the sounds, mute the bass again. So now we've got... And I'm going to pitch them back down the C5 area. And one thing to make them hit is sending it to the mixer and just boosting it. But also one thing you need to do is open up this tool here on the sample and pressing cut self. And one thing I like to add in these beats is a kick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the 808 and paste it on the kick. And on the kick sound, I'm going to press Command A, Option K to bring all of the notes to C5. Tip number 3. Success ain't overnight, I promise you that. It took me 2 years to work on my sound, get it to the perfect point that I was happy with to start sending it out to artists. And like I said, it wasn't overnight, it was over 2 years. The last 2 years I've been working on the business side of my music, and you know, even that's been elevated. It's just with time. And honestly, one of the very key things that I've learned over the 4 years is simplicity in your beats gets you further. Artists don't want a lot of sounds, so don't flood your beats with sounds, trust me. Send it to the mixer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sidechain. This is a bit of a difficult task, but once you've got it, it's a very useful task. So on the kick channel, you see this little arrow down here. You right click it, sidechain to this track, open up the 808 track, go over to limiter. And you know I said don't use a limiter in any of your beats. Well, what you can use is a compressor in it, which is then used as a sidechain compressor, which won't ruin your beat. So you change sidechain to number 1, bring the threshold down like to here, and bring the knee down to like there. Boost the kick. So it just sits above. So it just gives that punch. So let's get an open hat in. My favorite open hats are the Live and Sony. So I'm going to start off with the Sony one. Even play around with the pitch with the open hats. And one thing about it is the mix wise, you don't have to really worry about anything because majority of the sounds that are in my kit are already mixed. So all you have to do is drag and drop them. But obviously you can edit the sounds to whatever you want, you know. I cannot stress this enough. If you're starting out, don't worry about sound VSTs, effect VSTs. Just worry about the fundamentals of making a beat using the sounds that are given to you in kits like mine. Just learn how to make a beat and then the sound VSTs and effect VSTs will find their way in naturally. But don't overwhelm yourself straight away. Right, let's listen to the final beat. Oh man, what? Oh, this is crazy simple. Woo. Yeah. Damn. I wish I knew how to make these beats when I started out. What the hell? Like, it is simple. When you get your head around the certain things, it's simple. But if you've got this far in the video and you've struggled with certain parts, go back, go back to those certain points and you can replay them as much as you want and really study it, because this is how I make beats every single day. And this is the way I've got millions and millions of streams of artists for sending out my beats. So yeah, I hope this video has been very useful. And if you want to get your hands on the multi-kit, it's a link in the description. You can download it free of charge. You just have to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one.